We're back talking Chiefs football here on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast. Soren Petro from Sports Radio 810 WHP, Jeff Chadiha from the NFL Network, and Eric Eager from Sumer Sports. Much to get to here in our last podcast of the, it's technically not the off season, but our last podcast before we get the regular season up and running. We'll talk about the injury to Travis Kelce. He went down in practice today. If you're catching us via the podcast, we record 8 or 9 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night. We're talking about Travis Kelce going down, not looking good for him to play, but has not been ruled out. The latest on Chris Jones' holdout. Give our predictions, bold and daring predictions for the season. Who was our offensive and defensive player of the year? Surprise, disappointment. What will the Chiefs' record be? We'll grind through that for sure. If there's time, we'll get to Kadarius, Toney, Sneed coming back. We've got it all. We'll get our predictions for the Chiefs and Lions, talk about what are the keys to the game between the Chiefs and Lions. It's all coming up right now on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast.
You're listening to the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast, the most in-depth analysis of the Kansas City Chiefs on planet Earth, breaking down the Chiefs like no one else can. Red, Gold, and Bold is hosted by Jeff Chadiha, Eric Eager, and Soren Petro. Jeff Chadiha is a senior columnist and on-air personality for the NFL Network and NFL.com. Eric Eager is the vice president of research and development for Sumer Sports. Soren Petro is the afternoon drive host of the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. The Red, Gold, and Bold podcast is proudly brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, Kansas City's nationally recognized full-service paving and pavement maintenance contractor, making parking lot problems disappear since 1994. Free consultations, no commissions, in-house crews, and every project comes with a written warranty. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com or call 816-484-3338. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Now, here are the hosts of the best Chiefs podcast, Jeff Chadiha, Eric Eager, and Soren Petro.
And thank you for joining us. As you can tell, one of us playing a little bit hurt, Jeff Chadiha, up against it weather-wise. The allergies are a killer this time of year, are they not?
They are, brother. It's like it's tough part of the country to live in when you deal with ragweed and pollen and everything else. But I've got some Jack and Coke with me now. You know what? A little bit of advice: if you ever feel like you're under the weather, tequila will get you through.
Is that right?
A lot of curative powers in tequila. You can look it up.
Is that? Are you just joking or?
No, I'm serious. Tequila's got can fix a lot of stuff.
The only thing tequila's ever cured me of was shyness.
I think it may have cured you of a large meal. At some point, but I'm with Eric. Wow. Okay.
I'm willing to, Jeff. I'm willing to test your theories.
Give it a shot. Literally give it a shot. Yeah.
I am willing to learn. As they said.
Jeff, you're also traveling a lot too. I feel like that's like a hard that, and then you where you live is like a lot of allergies. That just seems like a bad cocktail.
Well, and then you're going from 100-degree weather into 60-degree AC. Yeah, that doesn't help either.
Yeah. I love this. Can you subscribe to my Twitter? It's not hard if you subscribe to my Twitter. Can't figure out which podcast is first. Tommy, how about this? Thoughtful, caring, not so much for Eric, but when it comes to Jeff.
A lot of empathy. Yeah. I love that.
Apparently somebody listened to you on 810, Sports Radio 810. Mornings, you sounded a little rough, but there you go. So, yeah.
But still there.
Yeah. But still at his post, doing his job. It's good to know. It's good to know. All right, let's get into the news of the day, Jeff. Travis Kelce goes down. Hyperextended knee. Different reports out there. One, they don't think it's that serious. Then one comes out that says the ligament and the ACL tested fine. So there's no ACL tear. I think just by the very nature that you're looking into that, I mean, there's an element of standard operating procedure, I'm sure. But, I mean, that's a little scary that if you were going down that road, he's not going to play, is he?
I don't see him playing. I mean, anybody who's ever hyperextended their knees would know that that's not something you just do it one day and 48 hours later you're playing an NFL football game. I mean, it's a lot of swelling, a lot of pain. I'm sure he's going to have to deal with all that stuff. But yeah, but the bigger question that you raise is what could be going on in there, because the ACL is not the only ligament in the knee. There could be patellar stuff going on. It could be MCL stuff. There'd be meniscus. I mean, we saw this with Von Miller. I'm not trying to, paint catastrophe just yet, but Von Miller, when he got hurt, was talking about, I'm going to take a few weeks off and be back. And he never came back. And so it's a little bit scary that it happened in a very light practice. You're not doing a whole lot which is basically a Friday before a Sunday game football practice. And he didn't sound like he was super optimistic. He looked very concerned when it happened. So non-contact, I'm assuming. Star player. I don't like the looks of it.
Eric, where's your fear level?
Yeah, Kelce's not playing Thursday. The betting markets have moved about a point, which is about what Kelce's worth on the point spread. So, if we're to believe that, then I think Travis is sitting out, taking the 10 days until the next game against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. But insofar as this season, I mean, it matters a lot, right? I mean, we saw the logic stretched one way last year with, Kadarius, Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, MBS, Sky Moore. They lose the veteran presence in Juju. Now that looks like a right move now that Juju's knee is reportedly about to blow up, in quotes. But without Kelce, it's going to be tough for this passing offense to be as elite as it has been in the past. And a lot of, what the Chiefs want to be centers around Mahomes not only being the best passer in football, but that distance on the graph being big. And to me, it's just hard without Kelce. I'm a firm believer in their receiving core and what it represents, but a lot of that assumption is that Travis is going to play the whole year.
How does the offense change, Jeff?
Well, look, anybody who follows football understands that once you get to this point in a week of preparation, it's very hard to change your game plan. Like, I feel more confident about what they would be doing to deal with this if this were a week out, because then you could actually put together something and have it. You just can't drop Noah Gray into Travis Kelce's spot and expect the same kind of productivity. I would expect you to see a lot more, obviously, of Sky Moore, a lot more of MBS, a lot more of screens. Travis is such a huge part of the offense because he's able to improvise. He's able to, be a security blanket for the quarterback. And without him there, it's just, I can't imagine what this offense looks like. I really can't. It's really going to be, and partly because of what Eric just mentioned, in that you have a lot of younger players who are just trying to get into comfortable roles. It's not like you have Tyreek's been here, and McCole Hardman's been here, and these other guys have been around, Pringle, whoever it is. You got some guys who've only been here for a year or two, or if that. And so that's really scary. I think you're going to see probably a lot more safe stuff than you probably would have seen. They probably can't be as aggressive. Someone mentioned him as he go back to his Texas Tech 5 wide, throw it all over the place. This offense isn't set up for that. It's set up for smart communication, efficiency, and improvisation. And I think you're losing a lot of that with Travis Kelce being out.
Star players, the big thing about star players is not only their production, but the strain that they pull away from other players on the team that make them more efficient, right? We're going to see Karlaftis is not going to be as effective without Chris Jones, right? Yeah. And stuff, MBS and those guys are not going to be as effective without Travis. Can they get around it because of Mahomes? Yes, but star players and why they get paid market rates is because they make everybody else better. And Kelce's one of those guys, and so it's going to be tough. Hopefully he can come back healthy. I do think Noah Gray is a guy that they developed, and
there it is. Thank you, Tina said it.
He's not going to play to Travis Kelce.
940 mark.
Competent starting tight end for this team.
Yeah, 940 in. Here's Noah Gray. Listen, I'll go a step further. If he's not going to shine now, when is he, Eric? No joke.
Wait, we're shitter get off the pot time for Noah Gray already?
Year three? How many years does a guy get?
Why don't Ozzie Newsome out of this guy?
How long can he sit in the can? Right? Like, how many hours does he get in there? Give somebody else a shot, man.
Noah Gray was fifth on the team in catches last year. He's been good. What are we talking about here?
What does he do in this game?
5 for 75 and a touchdown. Let's go.
Wow.
5 for 75 and a touchdown.
Don't they only have 2 tight ends now?
Now they do. Yeah, unless they make a roster move and bump up one of the guys. They got 2 on the practice squad.
So what do you do in short yardage situation? What do you do in that's a big personnel group that you're taking away. That's the possibility.
They kept
Bushman to the rescue.
The war on Soren's ass. The tackle Lucas Niang. He'll play like a tight end spot for them. Like you'll finally see Lucas Niang be useful. Soren.
Yes, they'll bring a tackle in, and that's what they'll do in the run game. Lucas Niang until he gets hurt on the 3rd snap. That'll happen. By the way,
somebody brought up. Yeah. What's up?
5th on the team equals good.
The Kansas City Chiefs a season ago. All right. Let's get the Chiefs last year won the Super Bowl, had the best offense in the entire league by a Missouri mile, and Noah Gray contributed to that group by playing playing 700 snaps and catching the 5th most passes on the team. Yes, it is good. Especially when there's a Hall of Fame tight end. And did Jason Dunn catch 28 passes for the Chiefs when Tony Gonzalez was there? No.
For the record, 28 catches, 299 yards, and a touchdown for Noah last year. So we'll see.
Pretty good for a backup tight end, a 5th-round pick out of Duke.
Maybe he'll equal those
Football
numbers
school.
in the first game. I don't know. We'll find out. Chris Jones is not back, Jeff. Life without Chris Jones begins. If he's not in now, then we're in it for the long haul, right? There's no point in just missing one game, is there?
No, this is endless. And I knew at some point the numbers would start coming out as far as if they're accurate. Pro Football Talk put it up there and about what the Chiefs were offering and what he wants and $10 million difference. You start seeing that kind of stuff come out. It just adds more fuel to the fire. I feel like I kind of laughed at week 8 when he said that, or we tweeted that out. I kind of think that's a possibility now. I definitely think at the very least he misses the first 2 games.
What is the point of missing 2 games and coming back? To me, once you head down this road, sorry, Jeff, to cut you up, but once you head down this road and you're going to start missing games, aren't you going all the way to where you just play 6 games at the end and accrue to the season?
Well, yeah, I mean I think that you can come in and get your money, and you can probably just do what Brian Burns is doing in Carolina. You start holding in, and I think the whole point of all this, part of it, the agenda was to say, if you want to play the franchise tag game with me next year, you're seeing how big of a pain in the ass I can be. And so I don't know if someone asked me the other podcast about trading him, when that would happen. Yeah, I think if you're the Chiefs, you have to really think long and hard about, does he want to be here? I know you think he wants to be in Kansas City. I think that ship has sailed. I think he's going wherever he can go to get his money.
Yeah,
I think
the 2 games was to prove a point.
So, since you brought up what I think he wants to be the highest paid player, and he wants to be in Kansas City. Yeah. I don't know that being in Kansas City is more important than being the highest paid player. But I think he wants both those things. We haven't heard him say, "I want to be traded. Pay me or trade me." Like, that's an easy. Why hasn't he gone there? Because
he might have said that.
Traded.
But he may have said that behind closed doors.
He may have
put out there.
But if you really want to put the team under pressure, that's box 1 you check. Not his agents floating things through Mike Florio's goof fest. I mean, you go out there and say, "I want out. I deserve to be paid this much. If you're not going to pay me, trade me." That's the first thing you do if you really want out of town.
I think that might be coming.
Okay.
To answer your broader question, Petro, though, it's to prove a point. I mean, when Emmitt Smith won a Super Bowl with Dallas and won, 3 rushing titles in a row, or 2 rushing titles in a row, he sat out at the beginning because they wouldn't give him quarterback money. and then they win 0-2. They lost to a bad Washington team. They lost to the Bills, who they just throttled in the Super Bowl, and then they give him the contract. And I was actually just reading the press clippings from that the other day. Like Troy Aikman was like, I sure hope he'll play this week. He's making a lot of money. Like there was all that crap going on back then. And Emmitt Smith asked for quarterback money and got really good running back money. He didn't get what he asked for, but he proved a point to Dallas that they can't, like, you should pay me. Now, the interesting part about Jones is that,
and here's Eric Eager talking about how important the running back is. Man, really breaking from that.
I mean, 1993, it was a different league, Petro, but yes.
Oh, because the great savior of quarterbacks, Troy Aikman, couldn't handle it on his own.
Right.
Bite my ass.
Oh boy.
All right.
Bite my ass.
The thing with Jones is, the Chiefs gave him a very strong offer from what I can tell. Like, and I'm going to bring this back, like, without using void years and with
which they won't do because void years don't allow you to complete a contract and don't allow you to get free agent compensation. There's a reason why they don't.
Well, it's not that though. It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't spend. The Chiefs are among like the bottom third in the league in spending. To use void years, the reason you use void years is to prorate the money over multiple years, which requires a lot of upfront cash from the Hunts, which they just don't do. And I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying that's how it is. But short deals like that. So Jones's deal would effectively be 3 years, 74-ish million if you just take the 19.5 and then add to that what they offered him. A short deal like that, if Jones succeeds, he gets to the end of the second year of that deal, and just like a guy like Kirk Cousins, who had a 3-year fully guaranteed deal, just like other guys that have short, almost fully guaranteed deals, they're going right back, and he's asking for contract number 4. Right, 2 years in. If he fails, he's got 3 years of guaranteed money. Like, I do not understand, other than trying to have a shoe size competition, why Chris Jones is turning this deal down. Like, to me, the Chiefs are setting him up for some success financially here.
Yeah, I think we had one of the comments was about how Brett Veach said they saw it coming with Tyreek Hill. They should have seen it coming with Chris Jones. I mean, this is a tactical mistake. You're in the get it right business. I'm not faulting him. I'm not saying it was a fatal flaw or lots of other GMs wouldn't have made the same mistake, but it's a mistake to be here now as a Super Bowl defending champion. This is a mistake. He should have been traded. And I'm a big believer in you need some fresh blood, and there ain't that much fresh blood on this team. Right. And that would have been a way to again, put the carrot out there. Well, can you win it without Chris Jones? I mean, that's an incentive that, to me, there are not only do you gain $30 million in cap room and a draft pick had you traded him before, and even if you trade him now, but you also gain they think we can't do it without Chris Jones, which I think has been a powerful tool for this team when they've had it. They had it last year. They used it. We can't do it without Tyreek Hill. Watch us. I think that's something that they miscalculated on this situation.
Yeah, but you also can't go down that road. You can only go down that road so far before it begins to bite you in the butt. And I even wonder if they won the championship 2 years ago with Tyreek Hill, are they that cavalier in trading him away? I think part of what happened with Chris Jones, they got drunk off the joy of winning that second championship and felt like, well, who wouldn't want to be here? We're going to pay him good money. He's got another ring. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this? And so I think the moral of the story is whatever your business strategy is going to be all in with it. If you want to be ruthless and get rid of star players and trade them away at the top of their value, like the Patriots did, do it with everybody. If you want to be all in and overpay for players and try to get one ring here and there like the Rams did, be all in with it. But they're trying to send messages to certain players and then say, all right, Chris Jones will be the guy we'll get to stick around and pay big money to when he's 30 years old. I think I agree with you. They should have traded him when they had a chance, should have seen it coming. And they didn't see it coming because they were feeling themselves.
A couple things to respond to here. Several owners open up their wallets. Why not Hunt? Somebody else asking, is Hunt cheap? The biggest contract in team professional sports was given to Patrick Mahomes. Chris Jones was given 4 for $80 when that was second best on the food chain. They have given big contracts. There's a limit. He's 29 years old. And rule of thumb, now he may be the guy, he may be the new Reggie White that bucks that trend and plays 3 great years in his low 30s. Guys have done it before, right? But
Calais Campbell's still playing.
not at the same level he was.
Yeah, but he's still getting checks. Yeah, 37.
There's a salary cap, there's a salary floor. It's impossible to be the skinflint that Mike Brown was with the Bengals for many, many years before the cap came around, right? So they spend their money. This is a question of what's he worth. And somebody else said, if the numbers are right, if Florio's numbers are right, the Chiefs are on the low side, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. They're on the lower side of that, yes. And they're giving him $27.5 million per year for 2 more years. And my understanding is fully guaranteeing it.
Yeah, the fully guaranteed part, they are fronting the cash. Like, we don't know the structure of this imaginary deal, but they're not just going to say, Chris, you get 19.5 here, and then we're paying you 27.5 over the next 2. They're probably going to put some signing bonus on it, which puts money in Chris's pocket, probably pays for the $2 million he's given up already. They can't waive it, but they can put it in a signing bonus, and all that money has to come out of Clark Hunt's pocket today. Right. So, and the rest of it, if it's fully guaranteed, has to go into escrow today. And so it is like, this is part of the deal. And you look at over the cap, or a great, Jason Fitzgerald's fantastic here. They do spend less, but it's part of the budgeting process that they've had forever. And like, to go and chase what Cleveland or Philly or Minnesota is doing now with void years and pushing everything in the future, like, they don't have to. They're the Patriots now. And they don't have, like, the Patriots would never have put up with any of this nonsense. And
that's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
It would never have gotten to this stage.
It would never, it would. And the fact that I agree with you, Jeff. I think the fact that it's gotten this far is that Chris negotiated with them in good faith the last time he was on the tag. And now this has not really been a good faith negotiation.
Why did they misread this? Why did they? Because they seem to, this is exactly the situation they expected had they stayed the course with Tyreek Hill. Tried it out. They said, okay, this is where this will end up. They didn't think it was going to end up here. What did they misread?
The big thing is the defensive tackle market did not take off the same way the wide receiver market took off. Last year, Devontae Adams gets traded, gets a humongous deal. Christian Kirk gets $20 freaking million a year. And then that, I know specifically of agents who were like, once that Christian Kirk deal went through, we stopped negotiating with all of our wide receivers and reset all the numbers. But all the defensive tackle contracts were very favorable to Kansas City. Quinnen Williams, Dexter Lawrence, all those deals were well underneath what people were expecting. And so the difference is that the Chiefs thought, Chris Jones and his agent will look at the freaking market and be like, oh, I guess we'll read the room here. Whereas if Tyreek Hill and his agent were reading the market, they were doing so rationally last year, and hence it got away from them money-wise. So I think it's all market-driven in this case.
In this case, the other defensive tackles didn't get enough money, and so the Chiefs they had a number they were going to regardless. And
you look at the young guys that got all the guys that signed after Jones, other than Hargreave, were all second contract guys. So a rational person would say Quinnen Williams, much younger, not as good yet, but much younger. Quinnen Williams, Dexter Lawrence, all those guys, Jeffrey Simmons, all those guys got those deals. They're younger, have more time to develop, but they're not as good as Jones. Jones is older but better right now. So Jones is rightfully probably the highest of those second-tier defensive linemen after Donald, but Jones doesn't believe, he doesn't, for whatever reason, believe that should have been his market.
They misread how big Aaron Donald's deal would be in this conversation. Yep. That's what I think they misread. They probably thought, oh, the Rams do crazy stuff. He'll understand that. We'll get him close to this. It'll be fine. And that's always been an albatross out there hanging over this whole conversation, which is to say that the Rams gave, and that was a bad deal. I think we can all agree with that. Even as great as Aaron Donald is, 31 years old, to guarantee him $95 million over 3 years is a sucker's play. But they did it. And so we live in a world where these guys communicate with each other. They read the news. They see what's going on there. And Chris Jones probably said, you know what? The Rams won a championship. Aaron Donald was their best defensive player. And they gave him $31 million when he was 2 years older than I am. Why aren't they doing that for me?
Yeah.
And we also live in a world where if you're looking around the league and you're seeing how players are operating now, they're becoming a lot more aggressive in how they're dealing with management when it comes to contracts. You saw Mike Evans down in Tampa say his agent put out a statement. I know his agent put out a statement to the Bucs saying, hey, if we don't get a deal done by September 9th, we're out of here. Like, we've been trying to get this deal done. They're not talking to us. You see Brian Burns in Carolina doing the holding. You see Jonathan Taylor doing what he's doing in Indianapolis. You saw Lamar Jackson last year, missed 5 games, end of the year, the quarterback. I'm not playing. You know, I mean, I think these players see what other players are doing, and they start to think, well, you know what, I can do that too. And if this is what it takes for me to get what I want to get, I can go down this road too. And when you have the money Chris Jones has made, it's much easier to do that.
Yeah, I want to highlight this because this is something I've been saying for a while. Donald's contract was a fluke. I'd call it an outlier or a mistake. I just like Deshaun Watson's. It doesn't become the market norm, though, right? Because one team makes a mistake doesn't mean everybody else has to follow suit.
But the deal is Deshaun Watson is an outlier because teams were bidding on him. They raised the price for him. Aaron Donald's team gave him that money.
Yeah.
You know, they said, hey, we want to reward you for what you did. And so that's, even though it's not a great contract, which I agree, I still think Chris Jones sees that. And let's face it, he also sees Tyreek Hill traded, Tyrann Mathieu not getting paid, Orlando Brown not getting paid. And these guys begin to like form their own opinions about how things are going to be. And so to me, it's very clear he went into this looking like this is going to be a fight. I'm digging in from day one, and they never realized that's what it was. They saw it as Chris is a great guy. He's a funny guy. He's fun-loving. We'll give him more money. He'll be happy. We'll chase more rings. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about the Aaron Donald contract the last time. I don't know why it's a shock this time. I think the difference is they're showing more resolve. And they're digging in. Last time they caved when it came to training camp. There's more money, as you've said many times, Jeff. He's got more money in the bank now and more of a war chest to sit it out and fight the fight.
I guarantee you Clark Hunt has said we're not going any higher than what we put out there. Whatever that number is, if that number is right that Florio put out, I guarantee you Brett Veach's hands are tied on this.
I don't think they should offer anymore. Right? Like, I think there gets to be a point. Okay, we misread it. We're not going to compound the problem by overpaying. Like, to me, I think they should be trying to trade him. I think if the little rumblings about Cleveland, who has cap room, is interested, fine. Be done. Move on. Like, to me, I think one thing that, like, you know, everyone talks about Le'Veon Bell and how he was never the same. Steelers never scared a Super Bowl either.
No.
Right? Like, they never really recovered from that either. Now, there's a lot of other things. Ben Roethlisberger is getting old. I'm not putting it all at that, but, like, you don't need this crap.
No.
You don't need this crap when you have the quarterback and you have the coach and everything's going. You don't need this kind of drama.
But you know what, though, Soren, though?
It should be shed.
Yeah, that sounds great, but every week he seems to gain more leverage. Charles Amedi, who gets suspended. Now Travis Kelce's hurt. Like, all these things affect the team at some point.
Totally disagree with you. If they go 0-2, are they going to suddenly give him $30 million?
No, I don't think they will. But I'm just saying that in the court of public opinion, they're going to start, God, we can use Chris Jones.
Listen, what we see over here, I haven't seen one person say, people have asked, hey, are they cheap? But everywhere, I'm done with Jones. Trade him. Enough of this. Let's go.
They ain't played the games yet. Check back on Friday if they lose.
Okay, that's a fair.
Check back on Friday and see how what they're talking about.
That's a very fair point. Listen, you can check with Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Dates are booking up fast. If you need that seal coating, still some dates on the weekends. Don't have your business tied up during the week. You can still maybe. I know they were getting very close to being completely full. Before that cold weather comes in, book it right now with Gann Asphalt and Concrete. They're online at GannAsphalt.com. Solving parking lot problems since 1994, basically. That's 30 years of service, folks. Doing it better than anybody else. Nationally recognized full-service paving and pavement maintenance contractor, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Let's turn the page and talk about some of our predictions. We'll get to a couple other things here in a little bit, but let's talk about we did a few predictions in our last podcast. We've got some for this one. We've all got Patrick Mahomes for Offensive Player of the Year. If you were to pick somebody not named Patrick Mahomes, Jeff, who would you go with?
Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
I'm going Sky Moore.
Okay. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, without Mahomes, it's
or not without him. If you besides Mahomes,
I know, I know what you. Yes, I agree with Jeff. Sky Moore is the next rational option.
I think it would be one of the running backs or Donovan Smith.
A bigger running back?
I think because
Or a left tackle? Is that what you said?
I don't see I don't see anybody emerging as a big wideout. I think it's going to be spread around everybody. It's going to look like the Patriots wideout core. Travis Kelce, everybody gets an extra 200 yards without Travis Kelce, but nobody's going for 1,400 and having a big day. I think the offensive line is going to be the story. Patrick Mahomes is having weeks to throw the football in preseason. Now, the Cardinals are crap. But even against the Saints, he was having time. I think the line is going to be the story for this team. I don't know how you pick just one of them, but so I'd take the left tackle and Donovan Smith. I think he bounces back and has a really good year. I'd take him. Defensive player of the year. Where do you go there, Eric?
I think it's hard to go away from Nick Bolton as much as I like, as much as
Tracy Simeon.
Yeah, Tracy Simeon, good player. Nick Bolton.
You picked Chris Jones when we did this earlier.
I do remember you saying that.
I hate to spoil this for everybody. I have a list of what everybody's going to answer on this. According to what we said beforehand, we actually do put at least a small amount of preparation into this. And now you're changing.
I changed my mind. Chris Jones is not coming back. So there we go.
So in the last hour and a half, you've come to that conclusion.
We talked it over.
All right, Nick Bolton. I originally had Nick Bolton, and I've changed off of it. Jeff, who do you have? Defensive Player of the Year?
Nick Bolton.
Okay. I like I said, I had Bolton. I'm going Trent McDuffie. I think he becomes a true number one corner this year. I think Trent McDuffie takes a step, and Trent McDuffie is the Defensive Player of the Year for the Chiefs. Surprise! This is in a good way. Surprise! We know we'll be surprised because Eric's going to totally change who he said before. But Jeff, you want to lead us off? Who's your surprise in a positive way for the Chiefs this year?
Sky Moore, 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay. That is a surprise because you said Noah Gray before.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Noah Gray.
See? Oh, hold on. Back to
I forgot.
Jeff,
I was so on Sky Moore. Noah Gray.
Soren has like 7 helpings of empathy for Jeff when he brain farts, and I get dragged across.
Yeah.
I
remember writing that down, and I think I changed it on the sheet. So Noah Gray.
Okay, Noah Gray. All right, so Noah Gray is going to be the positive surprise. Eric?
One of 2 Chiefs 1,000-yard receivers, Marquez-Valdes-Scantling.
Oh,
First time ever.
Noah Gray, big year. Going to be 4th on the team.
Moving up the chart. That's right. 32 for 360 and 2 touches.
You guys laugh. Petro's going to be sitting here be like, Daddy needs a Noah Gray touchdown here. He's going to be betting that prop at Kansas, FanDuel.com/Petro. And he's going to be like rubbing his hands together. Look, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Come on, Noah Gray. That's going to be you on Thursday.
You know what I love about Noah Gray? And I was at their ring ceremony with the interview line set up, and all these guys are rolling up in there, driving in their nice cars and their expensive whips, and he pulls up with somebody else who I don't even recognize in an Uber and gets out with his girlfriend. Took an Uber to the ring ceremony. I was like, that's
man of the people.
That's a man of the people right there.
That's right. Practicality.
First class move.
I'm going Rashee Rice.
No kidding.
I'm going Rashee Rice. Well, you know what's amazing is I've made a case for it. I've given my reason why, and I didn't just change my mind in the last 5 minutes like you two dolts.
Yeah. Would your heart be broken if he was inactive in the first week of the season?
Crushed. Absolutely.
Well, somebody's got to be inactive, right?
Yeah, they're not dressing 7 wide receivers. Maybe they will now that Travis is out.
Sure they are. My buddy J.D. LeBeau, he says Rashee Rice is going to run all the Kelce routes.
Oh.
Just get ready for it. Now, we both have him in our dynasty fantasy football leagues, so that might be part of the reason why. No, I actually like Rashee Rice. I think he's going to have a big year. All right, disappointment, Jeff.
Now I got to think about what I wrote. Disappointment.
Well, he's not here right now.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris Jones. That's what it was. Chris Jones.
I love the commitment to the
Yeah.
predictions you make.
Well, I was thinking about, there was somebody else flashed in my mind when I said that, and I was thinking, did I say Jerick McKinnon? But no, Chris Jones, easily. I think he comes back and he gets hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's highly likely. Eric, can you recall who you said?
Trent McDuffie is what
That
I
is
said before the
not
show.
who you said.
And not because I think Trent McDuffie.
That is not who you said.
That is who I said.
Okay. All right, I'll change it.
I mean, I did say L'Jarius Sneed would also not be starting DB for this team at the end of the year.
That's who you said. But
I think the secondary as a whole is going to be disappointing because everybody thinks that 1 year of data, or in the case of Trent McDuffie, half a year of data is all you need to know a guy's him. But like, I think that it's going to be growing pains for the secondary.
Jeff, have you noticed rules just don't apply to Eric?
No.
Hey, we're going to do a mock draft. Oh, I'm going to trade Chris Jones for the number 3 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Hey,
no trades.
Would have been better off if they would have followed my advice.
No trades, we said. And their first
that would have been a heck of a move back then.
Thank you. Thank you. Geniuses are not, they're not appreciated in their time. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Listen, I told you at that time I love the idea. I love the move.
I mean, it was a great idea. It was rational for you to love it, Patrick.
It just was against the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you ever grade a test? Some guy draws a picture and you're like, I'm going to give him 100. It didn't even answer the
grades
question.
are made up. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
That's all I got through.
All right. I've got for my disappointment FelixAnudike-Uzomah for a first round pick. I'm going to be getting 7+ sacks.
Local kid.
I'm not seeing it, man. I didn't see it at camp. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping there's the big second half surge the way we saw it from George Karlaftis, but I have not seen it yet, and that makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm gonna put him down. I hope I'm wrong. Record. What are you expecting for the record? Jeff, I can almost count on the fact that you'll have the low water mark. So
yeah, I went 11-6.
11-6.
11-6.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what 6 games better than you had him last year going into the year.
Yeah. One game better. I'm sitting here looking at Travis Kelce with a bum knee and Chris Jones not in the building.
L'Jarius Sneed is not healthy. There's also these issues, man. This is not the same.
I agree. I'll go next. I got 12-5, and I'd usually be in the 13-14 win range, and 12-5, and I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know that Jeff's off the mark at 11-6. I mean, if the injuries, they haven't even started playing games, and they're already banged up. That's and somebody said it earlier. Hey, I'm worried maybe our good luck with the injuries has run out.
That happens.
Yeah. Brett makes a good point. I mean, is Sneed hurt or is he sitting in waiting for his contract?
I mean, he's getting the contract.
Well, but I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. Like Hawkinson had like an ear infection and and a bad back, and then like Kwesi bellies up and gives him $68 million, and now all of a sudden he looks like he looks like a healthy player. But like the 12-5 is my prediction, which would be tied for the worst record in the Mahomes era. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to our bold and daring predictions for the Kansas City Chiefs this year. We took a shot at several bold and daring predictions. Eric, why don't you lead us on this one?
Okay. Let me actually look at the sheet so I don't piss Petro off.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing the same thing.
I got. Hold on. Google's being a prick. I remember one of them. ClydeEdwards-Helaire leads the team in rushing.
Wow, we've come full circle. I didn't even go down that road. I actually thought about it because I see that.
Well, the moment to buy is right when you sell, Petro. Like that's like the whole point. I think is when it gets too stinky for Petro to hold the stock, then I'll gladly buy it.
All right, and I'm going to stay the course. I'll some of my newer material I'll give you later. But Rashee Rice leads the team in receiving yards. I had made it the whole team, not just the receiver, since Kelce's already hurt. So Rashee Rice leads the team in receiving yards.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
Over the luminaries is Marquez.
Bold and daring. right? Not likely and probable, bold and daring. Okay, that's where I went. Jeff, what do you got?
Chiefs will not reach the AFC Championship game.
You're rotten hell, Jeff.
time.
Yeah. How dare you say that?
Yeah. I picked the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I can't pick the Chiefs to be in the AFC Championship game.
I'm
They
not
win
going
it. They got there.
I'm not going to say hosting the AFC Championship game is better than winning the Super Bowl or going to the Super Bowl. That is one hell of a cool streak. Like if they could host a 6th AFC Championship game, that's some shit.
I think it gets broken this year.
All that'll just have that guy from Football Outsiders writing tweets about how embarrassing it'll be that Mahomes has only won 3 of them. And I got to answer for that bullshit. Okay. Here's
Okay.
I forgot his name. I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember his name either.
Scott Kaxmar. That's his name.
There you go. Go.
Okay. Okay. My next one. Noah Gray catches 50 passes.
Oh God, yes. Yes. More Noah Gray. What does it take to get more Noah Gray around here? So he's like the cowbell of this podcast, for God's sake.
Well, I think in fact he plays tight end and went to Duke, so he's a smart guy. It's Eric's man crush.
I never even connected those dots.
Yeah.
Eric sees himself.
Yeah, that's
Noah
right.
Gray.
That's right. Personified.
I'm such a dumbass. That is so obvious. It's so right there. I love that, Jeff. George Karlaftis leads the team in sacks.
That's not
bold. That actually might be.
That's not bold.
No, who's good?
All right.
He had to leapfrog Kylan, or he had to leapfrog Derek Nottie. Way to go.
Okay. All right. Well, then I can give you my one from I had Patrick Mahomes has 6,000 passing yards.
That's a bold one.
First quarterback over 6,000 passing yards. All right, we'll use that.
MBS 2,000 receiving yards.
Yeah. Right now, Karlaftis is the leading returner in sacks right now, right? Without Chris Jones around.
Oh, come on. With a first-round pick and Anudike-Uzomah out there. Derek Nottie's still on this team. Have we forgotten already, gentlemen?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to forget.
I saw him in the locker room. I was like, yeah, he's still
all I have to do is look 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, or 5 yards in front of the offense's line of scrimmage.
The other way.
And find out where Derek
You're
Nottie is.
You're not going to find him in the backfield.
If ClydeEdwards-Helaire ever went missing, I'm just going to look 3 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. That's where he's at.
It's your best stuff, Eric. I'm proud of you. All right, Jeff, what's your second one?
This is the one I thought I was going to say 10 minutes ago. Sky Moore, 1,000-yard receiving.
Okay. I hope you're right, man. I really do. But you've been in the locker room now. I mean, I know you're in a lot of locker rooms.
I've met him before.
I'm always in the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And so he's not big.
Yeah. He's a tiny guy.
Okay. All right, Eric, your third.
L'Jarius Sneed at the end of the season won't be starting for the Chiefs.
Where does this come from?
Okay, well, let's do it. Like, for one, they drafted a lot of people to kind of take his place, right? Last year and this year, and he's injured, and he's also that's it. Like, they have incentive to run and replace him, and he's hurt. And if he's hurt and he doesn't perform, look, and I know, Sneed's a much, 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 much better player than Rashad Fenton. He was the leader in slot corners last year in terms of PFF wins above replacement. But they moved on from Fenton really quick last year. And
well, he's not Fenton. Come on. He's much better.
I said he's much, much, much better, but the Chiefs' injury and contract have an incentive to kind of move on.
They play him, they start him. They start Andrew Wiley at right tackle so they can get draft pick compensation when they leave in free agency. They play those guys as frontline guys all the way to the end. I it's bold and it's daring, but I think it's patently wrong. When it's all said and done. All right, what's your third one, Jeff?
Third one is Nick Bolton makes the Pro Bowl. First time in his career.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Eager.
That's right. There's your Tracy
the
Simeon.
Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, he should make the Pro Bowl if that's the case. Yeah.
Come on, man. Are you doubting the chops of Nick Bolton? Why are you a Nick Bolton hater?
I'm not a Nick Bolton hater. I'm a Chiefs linebacker curiosity guy.
He's this good with Derek Nottie in front of him. Come on.
It's a curiosity guy. What does that mean?
Like, okay, what makes back to Jeff? You know more football than I do. I do want to ask, like, what makes Nick Bolton that much better than Willie Gay? Is it availability? Is it smarts? Like, I look at Willie Gay and I'm thinking to myself, this is a much more talented player than Nick Bolton. Yeah. And yet Nick Bolton's a better football player. Why? Yeah. Leo, when I look at Drew Tranquil, they brought him in to basically spell Willie Gay, not to spell Nick Bolton overcomes a lot to be the Chiefs' best linebacker, and I appreciate it. I'm also waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's more disciplined than Willie Gay. That's the reason why, right?
I mean, he's clearly a smarter player.
That's where I was going to go. I think he sees the field better. He reacts better. He's, there's a reason why the green dot's on his helmet and not Willie Gay's. I guess size-wise, there's not really much difference between the two.
I mean, Willie Gay's a much more athletic. Willie Gay's
faster.
I agree. Yeah. I think he's more athletic, but I don't. He's not more productive.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear the Chiefs prefer Bolton to Gay. Like, if the two of them are up for contracts, Bolton's getting one. Gay is playing for the Indianapolis Colts.
I like Willie Gay though, man. I mean, I'm not proposing marriage to him the way Tommy Moe is. The way everything is about Willie Gay and his 30-sack season he thinks he's going to have when he goes to the Steelers and lines up on the edge, which will never happen because he's not that kind of linebacker. But I like Willie Gay. I like the energy he brings. Listen, I love the story of Willie Gay. I don't like throwing a vacuum around his, the mother of his child, but I do like that the man has embraced that he's had some bouts with, mental health and has taken it head on, has tried to be better at that and has not been afraid to talk about it. I do enjoy that part of Willie Gay, and I think that takes some stones. So I'm rooting for Willie Gay. All right, I'll give you my last one. The end of this year, Dave Merritt is hired as a defensive coordinator.
Ooh, that'd be bold.
Chiefs defensive backs.
NFL?
Yes.
In the NFL, okay.
Why wouldn't he be?
I'm not saying he wouldn't be. Yeah,
why? Well, I'll ask you this. Why would the guy he's been around for 2 championships, right? Was he assistant or was he already the DB coach in 17? I can't remember. Or in 19. I can't remember. Anyway,
they got rid of who was the guy? Sam Madison they got rid of?
Yeah. I can't remember. I think Sam Madison was there and he was the assistant, but they played a bunch of rookies last year and they played great. He's, tutored under Steve Spagnuolo, who's been successful in a number of different places. He will crush an interview. He's 10 times the interview that Eric Bieniemy is. If he's not a defensive coordinator next year, I want to know why. I want someone will have to tell me why he has not been taken and made a defensive coordinator.
Fair point.
Okay. There you have it. Our bold and daring predictions on the year. We've given them all to you. A couple things real quick. Let's talk about the Chiefs and Lions. By the way, we're brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Nationally recognized full-service paving and pavement maintenance contractor. Parking lot problems are problems no more. You can take advantage of avoiding risks and accidents, liability in your parking lot. If you get your parking lot restriped today by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Free consultations, no commissions, in-house crews. Every project comes with a written warranty. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. Chiefs and Lions, what do you expect in this game, Jeff? What type of game are we going to see? What are the keys to a Chiefs victory?
Shootout. I think that's what's coming. I think it's going to be high scoring, super aggressive offense. Both teams trying to impose their will on each other. The Lions I think they've made some improvement in personnel on defense, but they still have to go out and show that they've actually improved. And the Chiefs, with no Chris Jones, no Menahu, Sneed banged up. I mean, they're going to be no Kelce. I mean, they're going to be having to do a lot of things that we haven't seen them do before to really make this happen. They just can't come out and impose their will on this team. It's going to be a fight, and it's going to be whoever has the ball last wins. This morning I picked the Chiefs. Right now, I'm starting to like the Lions a lot. Kelce being out, Jones being out. I wasn't high on that upset alert talk before because you're going against Andy Reid in that win streak and my whole September. But damn, if he pulls this one out, this might be pretty miraculous stuff.
Okay, Eric, what are you seeing?
Jeff has the Lions on Friday with a half a game lead in the 1 seed for the NFC. I think the Chiefs match up poorly with the Lions offense, right? So the Chiefs have a lot of depth in defensive back, but the Lions don't have a ton of depth at wide receiver or tight end. So they're not going to – it's not like the Bengals where their strength is going to play a strength. Jared Goff has one of the starkest differences between effectiveness with pressure and without pressure, and the Chiefs are not getting pressure in this game. So I think Goff is going to play very, very well. I think that Jeff's point is 100% correct. It's every time the Chiefs punt, it's going to be closer to like I'll put the number of punts in this game at 2.5. And I think it's going to be a barn burner. I don't know how you can lay the points even now that's 5.5 with Kansas City. I think it's a 3-point game on either side.
I'm having a hard time getting a feel for this. The Kelce thing definitely does throw it off kilter. I tend to think one or two things are going to happen. I think Mahomes is going to come to play, but I think that might actually create some problems. That he might be like, "Don't worry, guys, follow me," and he starts trying to do too much. And maybe he digs a hole against the Lions team that has the offense to stay in front of him. So that scares me a little bit. I think they're ready to play without Chris Jones. I'm not going to tell you they're going to be better without Chris Jones, but two fatties in a blitz worked fine without him back in 2019. Fine. Not great. Didn't excel. They weren't better without him, but it worked fine. And I think they'll be okay on the defensive side. I don't know why. Why? When did 9-8 become the end all be all for when was that?
Soren, what was the Eagles' record in the penultimate year after their Super Bowl appearance?
9-8. You're on the record. I mean, you've got the Lions in the Super Bowl. So are you picking the Lions to win this game?
I think Lions cover the number. I'll stop at that.
Okay.
The Patrick Mahomes in game one of he's only not covered once. So that was Cleveland 2 years ago. So I think it's more like that. I think if you say the Chiefs win but the Lions cover, I think you're on the right track.
Okay. You worry about it being flat after raising a banner, Jeff?
No, they're saying the right things about that. I believe that they've moved on from that. It's just I go back to it's very hard to change your game plan 2 days before a game and compensate for how big a part of the game plan Travis Kelce always is. And so where do you go? If you can't create new plays that you practice, you have to go to things that you trust. And I think it limits what they can do offensively, which is going to be a factor in this game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think it's about Kadarius, Toney, L'Jarius Sneed injuries, not at 100%. That impacts this game. How, Eric?
Negatively.
Well, yeah, but to what degree? No one thinks it's a positive.
Well, look, this game opened Chiefs. This game opened Chiefs -7, and now it's -5. So it's 2 points to the point spread, which is a ton.
And you think it's all because of Sneed and Toney?
No, I think it's Sneed, Toney, Kelce, Chris Jones. It's like this thing has been chipping away. Like open there at -7 early in the offseason, and it's been 6.5 kind of with all this malaise, and now it's 5. And I think some of the 6.5 was, well, geez, the Chiefs have been hyping up Toney as their wide receiver 1 all summer, and then he gets hurt literally the first practice, and now they're depending upon Sky Moore, MVS, and everybody else. And I think with Sneed, Sneed adds to it. Yes, Sneed was the Chiefs' 5th most valuable player last year. So, look, the Chiefs' 5 most valuable players are Mahomes, Creed Humphrey, Sneed, Jones, and Kelce. 3 of those guys are either banged up or out on Thursday.
Okay. Chiefs 37-30. Jeff?
I said Chiefs 42-38 earlier. I'll go Lions 38-35.
if Mahomes puts up 42 without Kelce, he's in. They just might as well just like take his jersey off and hang it up in Canton. Chiefs 34, Lions 30, but would not be surprised the Lions won at all.
Eric wants to pick the Lions. He doesn't have the nerve to do it. He's going to get off here and call his bookie and be like, give me fucking $100 on the Lions right now.
Yeah. He almost did it. But he didn't. All right, that's going to do it for us. Remember, we're proudly brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. You got any kind of parking lot problems, they're happy to take care of it. Been fixing them in Kansas City since 1994. They're the best in the business. Call 816-484-3338. You can find them online at GannAsphalt.com. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. For Jeff Chadiha from the NFL Network, Eric Eager from Sumer Sports. My name is Soren Petro from Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City, saying thank you very much for joining us here on the Red Gold.